What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Truth and Transparency. It is Friday morning, all day, going to be January 9th, 2026. This is Spencer Teppe's officer body worn camera on December 30th, 2025 at 9:15 in the morning. Again, I want to remind everybody that Truth and Transparency put in public records requests back a couple days ago, and this was before there was ever any private or teacup interviews with the chief, who I do support. Brian's done a fabulous job. We had the least amount of homicides that we've ever had in Columbus this past 2025 year. With that said, when we went ahead and put in our request for the public records, we asked for the body-worn camera of the initial responding officer for the first wellness check, not the one that happened at 9:57 when they went back there after they found the bodies, but the first one, which took place at 9:15 in the morning, from the 9 o'clock call from Mark, who was Spencer's colleague, a fellow dentist. It wasn't until this FOIA request and this public records request went in, which then I am a resident of Columbus. I will get my public records back within X amount of days, which is usually anywhere between 24 hours, 48 hours. This is what prompted, in my opinion, the chief of police to come out yesterday and meet up with, not do a press conference where it could be open to the public like myself, but there was a private interview that was done. And that's where it was addressed that, hey, guess what? We went to the wrong house when we initially went out for the wellness check. That's what prompted, in my opinion, my request prompted that public statement. Here it is, the body-worn camera of the officer responding on 12/30/2025.
Radio 31. This is 8A3752 North High, Winkle Green and Co. Truck with rear entry door, front motion, and rear motion detector.
No, turn off.
No.
Send that to me, please.
31, I'll check that.
31, copy that. Thank you, sir.
I was made for loving you, baby, baby, made for loving me. como los pinos.
Fourteen 17.
Negative 43. 30A 980 King Apartment 8, C Genevieve.
Copy. Anybody home? Anybody home? Bert. Anybody home? There we go. Anybody home? Well, it was the old college try. Bert.
Gave it the old college try there. Okay, so I got some more. We're going to do this one more time for you guys. Right here. Those of you guys that are just joining us, this is the body worn camera of the officer that was dispatched, okay, to do the wellness check, 913. Now,
Radio 31.
2-1.
Business 8A 3752 North High, Winkle Green and Co. Truck with rear entry door, front motion, and rear motion detector.
$90.31.
No,
9031.
Send that to me for 31.
31, I'll show you that.
31, copy that. Thank you, sir.
yeah, I was made for loving you, baby, 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 loving me. Oh, 16, 20, 21, 19. Y'all come on up here.
He's on Summit. He's on Summit at 1417. How I found that out is because right over here to your left-hand side, that is the Huckleberry, one of their buildings right there that you're seeing with that white sign there. This is a Summit. This is one-way street. He is at 1417 Summit. What would have been an understanding is to go to possibly 1411 South 4th Street, but here, this is on Summit. I have no idea how Summit would possibly be registering now, but I do. Because when you run actually back the logs and you listen to the radio logs, what address does the dispatch give this officer to go to? Verbally, because the actual CAD notes say to go to 1411 4th Street. But this is on Summit, and I have it as 14. Right there, 17. 1417.
I get up 43. 30A 980 King apartment 8, C Genevieve.
Got it. Anybody home? Anybody home? Anybody home?
Okay, I want to show you guys something really quick. I'm going to pull up. Here is what the okay. Dispatched at 9:10 and 10 seconds. Arrived at 9:15 and 31 seconds. Closed out at 9:24 and 15 seconds. He cuts off his body-worn camera and remains on property for way longer. If you can see here, it says the location is to go to 1411 North 4th Street. This is why I got this material. So like when people want to say, well, was he dispatched to the wrong place? Okay. I'm just showing you, this is what this is the actual material that you would need to. So here, 1411 North 4th Street, Columbus. And it's the X streets are met. That means it's in between, 8th Avenue and 9th Avenue. See where Summit is over here on the left-hand side? Okay. Summit's over here. But he would be down a little bit further right where the kind of like the 23 is, right over there. People are saying, can you auto correct when it send you to the wrong? You guys, this is the police. Okay, there is no auto correct that it sent me. It's right here. If anybody wants to make excuses, you can go right ahead. It's in black and white right here. The location information. This person was said to go to 1411 North 4th Street. Now, if he didn't take the time to look at this and he just thought, this is what I thought I heard, and so I just went where I thought I heard. Again, there's no excuses. This stayed silent for 8 days while I was seeking this FOIA out. Okay, it wasn't until I said, I want the body-worn camera. I want the dash camera of the first initial wellness check. And lo and behold, before they could give it to me, they said, Captain, you might want to get in front of this. Hey, Chief, you might want to get in front of this. Somebody finally asked for the body-worn camera. And it was not mainstream media, and it was not the local news. It was moi. And I put it out there yesterday. I said, the only reason that this private interview happened is because of my request. And what do I get first thing this morning, right before 9 a.m.? My motherfucking request. And what do I get? The body-worn camera. And I like this dude. He's singing great songs, by the way. But, I mean, normally you have your radio right there. Hey, I'm out here at 1417 Summit. I'm looking around. I mean, I don't see no signs of forced entry. All the doors seem like they're secure. I've knocked on all the doors. No one's answering. And then as soon as he would have said 1417 Summit, she would have said 1417 Summit. Why are you there?
Anybody home?
Also, let's see. There you go. Also, think about this. If you would have said, yeah, there's a dentist that didn't show up, I wonder if this officer would be looking around and saying, wow, a dentist lives here? Interesting. There's just so many ways the dispatcher could have been. Where do you work?
Well, it was the old college try.
Well, gave it the old college try. And now here, look at the timestamp here, 1918 or 9:18 and 50 seconds. So when I look at my CAD to double check, because he's going to shut it off, he says that he at 9:22 is when it's being reported that he knocked on the front door and back door multiple times. No answer. I don't know if I would call that multiple times. Definitely not the back door, not multiple times. He knocked once back there. But if he would have just gotten on the radio and said, yep, I'm out here, 1417 Summit. But he closed it out at 9:24 and 14 seconds. And based on the body worn camera, it cuts off at 9:18 and 50 seconds. Now there is dash cam though, right? Dash cam. I requested dash cam. I want to show you guys something. Remember I told you guys that there was that little hut. I call it a hut, but it's not. The building that's right by where the house is, that's a police department. Okay. There's a station. So where this guy's walking to get into this car, his cruiser right here. It's right on 11th. So right there. He touches the screen. He looks at the screen. So right there, what's going on here? Based off of the CAD that I have, it's saying that he knew to go to 1411. I do not know how this happens. You see how he touched the screen? He's looking at the screen. What was he touch? I mean, I don't know how this happened. And I bet you he's over there wondering how the hell did this happen? Because the chief 9:13 and 42 seconds. That matches up with let's see if when he arrives.
Radio 31.
2-1.
See over there that marathon? You could see way in the back. Hold on, I'm gonna back up 1 second. Look along, zoom in on your cameras while you're watching this. Right there. You could see the white and the blue. That's that marathon. So watch, he's gonna make a right here. Right?
This is 8A3752 North High, Winkle Green and Co. Truck with rear entry door, front motion, and rear motion detector.
He actually may be making a left to loop around though.
Yeah, 31.
No,
9031.
Send that to me, please, 31.
31, I'll show you that.
3-1, copy that. Thank you, sir.
for loving you, baby, 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 loving me.
When I go on my walks, that building, I'll show you guys from some camera that I have when I'm walking. This is he's on Summit here. 21 and he's like 17. Damn. I don't know how this happens. This is bad. This is bad. Okay, so again, I'm going to show you now. See this right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the map now, so you guys can have a complete understanding of where he's at. I'll pull up a Google map for you. Love me some Google Earth. I mean, this isn't even like, I don't even know how this happens. She had Mark on the phone for a good 3 minutes. You see that right there? Lana, how'd you find that out? There you go. There's your house that he went to. You walked up those stairs. This is what you're seeing from the other side. Oh, wow, Lana, you just nailed it. Yeah. I know my area. So is that zooming in enough for you guys to see? This is exactly where he was. Let me just show you. If you go, this is 8th. Okay. And right here down, there's the big Huckleberry house, but got to keep traveling down 8th here. What's all this? Oh, yay. And see these trees and stuff? None of that's blocking any view. See how it used to be? Those are all built in there. There you go. See? So remember the one way. So this is 8th. So if you go walk all the way down where 8th ends, I should say ends, but that's the Huckleberry house. This is right where I saw that. I was like, oh my God, he's on Summit. And so this is Summit. And this is your one way, because 4th goes one way the other way. Summit, I told you guys, remember, goes one way the opposite way of 4th. Okay. And when I saw this white sign, I said, holy shit, that's the, this is a Huckleberry property right here as well. And they use it for, like, purposes of, you see that camera right there? I mean, they use it for multiple purposes, but this property and then right behind it, this is the big Huckleberry house right there. Just so you guys can have your surroundings of where that was at. So if you guys are just joining us, again, I will play the body-worn camera one more time from the top. And we have reason to believe that, I don't know if he was just listening over the radio, and she repeated it back to him and said, I don't know how you can go from, it's in the the paperwork correctly, where he was supposed to go to 1411. Okay. We double checked all of that. I just showed you guys that paperwork from the CAD. And then here's what he did. And I have no idea how he did this, but when he got in his vehicle, he's walking down singing, whistling Dixie. I want to show you that for the first, and they'll do this. They're not going to have their body worn cameras on in the department, but he turns it on before he leaves. So you have 16 seconds, 20, 33 seconds. And you can hear him walking out. And then when he gets outside is when the body worn camera is going to come on. So here we have, it's basically from the time that the camera comes on, you're getting 5 minutes and 50 seconds from start to finish right here. So you have 5 minutes and 57 seconds from right here. And so this is how long the wellness call took. So all he had to do was radio in over and say, I'm out here at, 1417 Summit. And homegirl would have been like, why? That's not where you're supposed to be. So one would have to ask him, how does this happen when you're supposed to be pressing in when you arrive certain places, if it's telling you where to go? It just doesn't seem like something's wrong here. Something's really, really wrong, and it needs to change because somebody made a big mistake. And they should want to know why. And this is why it was not a press conference yesterday, but this FOIA request that we did, this is why, because they knew I was getting this at 9:00 in the morning. We make sure everybody understands that. The chief came out and spoke because they knew that I was getting this at 9:00 in the morning. And I was going to put out and show that the first response, and they're like, you need to get in front of this. This girl is really good at what she does. She's going to put this out. She knew exactly how to request it. We have this. We have to fill this request. And we only have so much time to do it. Otherwise, you're in violation of the Public Records Act. So they knew that they had to get this to me. They only have so much time to do that. Okay. And when I got everything back minus this video, and when I put all the preliminary reports out for you guys a couple days ago, I knew something was wrong. I knew it because I was asking for the initial. I was not asking for them. I was not asking for the body worn camera of the second time that they went there so we can go into the house or anything like that. It was the first initial wellness, a totally separate incident. I would like the body worn camera and I would like the dash camera. And my purposes for asking for it was because I wanted to see who was there. If anybody was there at the initial wellness, if somebody was like lurking around, that was the purpose for it. When I requested it, I was like, well, let's see if maybe the dash camera, the body worn camera catches a car or catches a person lurking. And then we can tell police, hey, did you check this out? Look at this. Look at this vehicle. Okay. They're like, Captain, you might want to get in front of this. You might want to get in front of this because, but this should be a big like pow moment. Ready? This gentleman, Whistling Dixie, he knew that when the second call came in and he had to go back out, what house did he go to the second time? He would have known immediately, this is not where I came. This is not where I came, and I need to report this. This isn't where I came the first time. How did I would have been on it. Like, how did I come here? How did I go to the wrong place? Because when you own it, when you own something right away, then hey, I just made a mistake, and we can all accept a mistake. We cannot accept when, okay, now we have to, nobody needs to cover for anybody here. This is just an honest mistake. That's it. But he would have known immediately if he responded then to the second, hey, get back up. Remember, they hit somebody up. What do you mean there's a body there? I was just there. I was knocking. What do you mean there's a body there? So that tells me that she did talk to the right person. because he's like, I knocked on. What do you mean? Who said there's a body there? Okay. So when he would have went back out the second time, he would have known immediately, this is not where I was. But how about this? What if he actually went back the second time and went back to this house first, because I was wondering why did it take so long to get there the second time? You guys see how close this is? It's right literally there. But what ended up happening because of this mistake is the crime scene was compromised. The crime scene has now been compromised because people went in that home that, you see how he put his gloves on? He would have had gloves on, this officer, when he would have responded to the right house. Okay. He would have heard the kids crying and yelling like the citizens that were friends with the victims. Okay. They would have had body camera on the moment of going in and would have seen exactly how the house is when you're going in. But this seems to me like an honest mistake. Okay. But it took what? Local media didn't ask for this. National news didn't ask for it. National news, local media is only putting out blurbs. National news, they're having people on panels talking about the most ridiculous shit right now. Okay. Here, I'll put this out first thing this morning on a Friday. Let's see how people cover it. Let's see, just observe. Let's see how people cover this. No, Columbus Department did not say a peep. There was no information coming out. There was no public press conference. There still has not been one. And then I do the FOIA. What was the exact date and time stamp of that FOIA? I'm going to get that out for you. And this is what it said when I did my request. It was very specific. But there still has not been a public press conference. And it was when they saw, holy shit, we're going to have to get in front of this. You're going to have to speak out. And what does she do? The first thing that she does? The captain, or I'm sorry, the chief, she's like, get the fluff media in here. Get the local media. I'll sit down with them. And over here, they think they're scoring some big thing. Oh, see, look at me. I got my exclusive interview with, ABC's over here saying I got my exclusive interview with the chief. Do you know why you got your, and exactly what it is? It wasn't exclusive. It was not a press conference. It wasn't exclusive. It was a tea. You guys were having, it was like you guys were playing what, teacup party? That's what that was. Hey, get them down here and I'll sit down and I'll talk with them. I'm the reason you got your exclusive, because this was coming to me today at 9:00 in the morning. And yet they do blast hit pieces on social media last night. NBC puts out a blast hit piece on social media, and that someone like myself could be, ruining the investigation. They said that people like me who would have a camera down filming the area would prevent a witness from coming forward. I said, oh, but not the person with the gun in the alley at 2:00 in the morning who they could be potentially scared of that could strike again, right? But it's someone like me. I'm like, you people are fucking out of delusional heads right there. That's delusional thinking. I'll play the hit piece that NBC put out on social media. Get the fuck out of here. No, sorry. Today's January 9th. This happened December 30th. No public press conferences happened. And if there wasn't all the ICE stuff going on right now, imagine how much more pressure there'd be right now on this case.
Radiator 31.
2-1.
Business 8A 3752 North High, Winkle Green and Co. Dropless rear entry door, front motion, and rear motion detector.
Okay. 9031.
9031.
Send that to me, please, for everyone.
31, I'll show you that.
3-1, copy that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I was made for loving you, baby, baby, made for loving you.
What's up, my girl?
Okay. 21, neck pain.
Again, he's responding to 1417 Summit. He's doing a great job. He's putting his gloves on. He was on it. Like, I love the fact that he loves his job. He's he's happy. He's chipper. Like, this is the type of people that you want in law enforcement. Like, happy, chipper people. Like, this is somebody that I would want to come to my door. You know, I don't need no small man syndrome motherfucker. Okay, this is who I would want to come to my door. So it was just an honest mistake, in my opinion. And
Radiator 43.
wait, is that a Ring camera? No, okay.
30A 980 King, apartment 8, Genevieve.
Go.
Okay, let me explain something too. Imagine if you would have said he's a dentist. He didn't come to work, he's a dentist. Okay. When you're hearing all this information, give as much information as you can, guys. Tell them that they have 2 children. Tell them that the one person's a stay-at-home mom. She should be there. He drives an hour and a half to get to work. He's a dentist. This man arriving, if he would have ever gotten saw that type of information, right? Looking around, do you think that a dentist would live here? No. Your inferences would be like, yeah, hold on one second. What's going on here? Okay. So something that we can learn is anybody that's calling for a wellness check, you want to give as much information as you can, especially if there's little kids ever if who you're calling a wellness check on like people are dependent upon them, like little children, you want to tell the police that. Okay. Because if little kids were crying inside and screaming and yelling, okay, they would then be able to just go right in. That's exigent circumstances. They can go in. Okay. The more information, I also think that the dispatcher should have asked, well, where does this guy work? Okay. So I trust me, I'm putting a ton on the dispatcher. Okay. But I'm saying if we want to also learn something, hindsight's always 2020, but something that dispatcher should have been asking was, where does he work? What, you're in Florida on vacation. He's okay. Your coworkers made you aware of. That dispatcher should have known, like, do you think that this man is calling because the Walmart greeter didn't come to work, lady? Okay. So, but yeah, if there's ever kids involved, just make that known.
Anybody home? Anybody home?
One can only hope. Brian, I told you I got it. Yeah. Right there should have been the right here he also has the opportunity to be on the radio saying where he's at, and I checked the front door he does all of that off the camera because he shuts off his body cam.
Anybody home?
He's been here for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. I mean, this is dangerous too, guys, like for an officer, like you want to be really paying attention to your surroundings.
Well, it was the old college try.
Gave it the old college try. Okay, so now again, I want to give some props here. In 2023, Columbus implemented a new system here. So it's under the design of the Columbus police chief, and they did a program where 700 Ring cameras went out to personal houses, and it was actually paid for by Columbus. Also, our police chief here in Columbus has a personal protection detail. It's $150,000 a year that she has. 2 officers. It's 24/7 security. There's a reason for it, though. She was the first Black female police chief. So I was reading up a lot about her, and it's not just because of this case. I had been reading up a lot about her beginning in 2021, 2022. But they put out 700 Ring cameras in and around the areas of houses where there was like the highest like phone calls that would come in for like, police responding. And so give Columbus props for the fact that the amount of homicides that occurred in 2025 is a direct reflection of the leadership and all of the, the police, as well as, hey, maybe also better humans are moving in and around the Columbus area down there. But this just to me seems like a mistake, but it was a mistake that would have been known immediately. And when no press conference happens, and then it just then seems we don't need to cover anything here. This was just an honest mistake. And if you guys don't think that it was, okay, then you're talking about, we're talking about an inside job. It was I believe it's an inside job, but that would be like an inside job. But I want to see how mainstream media and local media outlets are going to cover this, and how they're going to go about it. Because I can tell you last night, I was not pleased with what I saw as far as, and I'm going to play it for you right here. I'm going to play what NBC put out. I was like, what is this? What is this shit? So I want to play this, what NBC put out. Made no sense that they put out. Okay. I think I only shared it with my members. Oh, rats. Maybe they pulled the segment. Let's go local 10. 10 TV. God, I didn't realize how much they post. Let me see here. Holy crap. I made a comment on the post. I just was not happy with it at all. Okay, maybe it's these people. Maybe I'm getting the coverage mixed up. Let's see. No, I think this is the right one. Maybe they pulled this. I went okay, so what they did is they interviewed an Ohio State professor, okay? They interviewed a Ohio State professor yesterday. And then the title was What Social Media is Doing in This Case. And I'm like, whoa, hey, this is wild. And I made a comment and I said, please watch the latest 2-minute video by NBC. I about fell over. Here is the comment I left. Members, this one's for you. So I posted to my members only page. I said, ha ha, scared of people walking around with cameras, but not unknown alley walkers with guns and going into homes when people are sleeping and shooting them dead. Laughing my fucking ass off. Yeah, I'm sure the local TikToker is one scary son of a bitch. Okay, one scary SOB. I said, it's okay. Some of us do have integrity. And it was this woman was, the person that was interviewed was an Ohio State professor. And I'm like, what is this? What is this crap? And I wish I would have shared the actual little clip. Damn it. I wonder if it's down. Another one. Thank you, everybody that's good vibes. Thank you so much. Sherry D. we got that goal. Columbus just got back to me and they said I can have everything that I just requested. I did another request and I wanted all the dash cam body worn cameras of all the officers at the 750 bucks, and I can have everything that happened that day, including going to the house. So I'm trying to raise 750 bucks. I was like, because you know damn well mainstream media ain't putting that shit out there. You know damn well, like, and when they do, we're just gonna take little clips here. I'm like 750 bucks for it's 20 hours worth of video though, of what I requested. So that's why my goal here was for the FOIA love. I'm like 750 bucks. It's $39 an hour, $39.05 an hour for what they have to go through and patch up and get it to me. And I'm like, wow. I said, how many hours would that be then? You're looking at roughly 20 hours worth of work, 15 hours worth of work. I'm like, damn. So I wrote back and said, can we work on a down payment system? Can I give you half of it right now? You know, how long will this take? Is this going to be like the Moscow case where we get our request in like 2-3 months? I'm like, geez. But yeah, I think that this was an honest mistake, and I'm praying that it was, but it is one that's going to, when you go to arrest somebody, this is going to play into it, because a ton of people then, at least 3, went into that house, were touching things, moving, you know. I'm just praying that the killer left some DNA on one of those spent casings. That's truly what I'm praying for. And my gut says that could be a potential, maybe even a print. I would think that they would use gloves, but way to go, Lana. You pissed. I think it's NBC. I told them all what to do when I was down there. I gave them an interview too. I interviewed with them. Nobody was interviewing down there, and they wanted to talk about how scary it is down. Like, oh, is the community frightened? And I'm like, what? I was like, this is a targeted attack hit. Nobody has to be in fear. Okay, nobody has anything to fear. The only people that I would say would potentially have to fear in that community is anybody that was a friend in whatever Monique and Spencer were in. If people want to say that it wasn't, the motive of why they were killed could potentially put other people in danger of them being taken out because of what they would know or something like that. But no, nobody in that area, I don't think, has anything to fear, because this was not like a random, someone's on the prowl, because that's not what I see. This is an isolated, targeted attack, in my opinion. That's what I see. Again, that's me. That's what I see. But this right here, they went to the wrong house. So I think when you actually take a step back and you look at all of this, everybody giving total hard time to like these wellness check callers, check yourself. Check yourself, because if they wouldn't have been this way, what would have happened? What would have happened? And I personally think that they kept calling because they knew that nobody came to the door. They're like, we've been here. There's been no cop here. You know what I'm saying? So think about that. The dog wasn't harmed. The children weren't harmed. And if there's more than one dog, thank you so much, G.I. Josie Lou. G.I. Josie Lou's like, give him hell, Lana. Appreciate you. I don't do Venmo for numerous reasons. But so yeah. But here you guys go. Wanted you guys to see it. I knew this was coming, and I knew this is why the chief did her interview. If you go back and you listen to the chief's, so this is what she sits down with, sit down with me. I want to have tea with the chief.
I want to preface that by saying that we think that every single case that we have, 30 additional cases from previous, which is why we have 100 homicides. Obviously, we received a call for
Okay, here we go.
family, which is why we have 100 homicides solved last year. In this case in particular,
So now right here, this is, in my opinion, I can't prove this because we put a request in. This is why we're getting this interview, because I was going to be putting out this body worn camera. So get out in front of it.
what we do know is that obviously we received a call for a well-being check related to the two victims involved in this case. There was an officer that was dispatched to go to that well-being check. Unfortunately, he did respond to the wrong location initially. He went to the wrong location, and in him believing that he was at the right location, he did everything that he was supposed to do. Knocked on the doors, checked the backyard, did all those things, but it was not the right location.
Right there, the follow-up question should be is how did that happen? It's like I wrote a blurb last night, and I said, right there, it's like the interviewer asked, what's 7 plus 6? And MPD gave you an answer of 15, and you accepted it. The follow-up right there after this, she gives this information, should be, how did the responding officer go to the wrong location? Simple question. That's the question.
Approximately about maybe 40 minutes later, we had received another call because the coworkers of one of the victims stated that they had not reported to work and they were really concerned. So they went to the house, and that's when subsequently the bodies were found of the two victims as it relates to this case. We are working very diligently to try to solve this case.
I agree with that. You are.
We know that people are concerned, and we know that people have a lot of questions. What we're asking for is patience as it relates to this investigation. We want to make sure that we don't compromise the integrity of this investigation. So,
Well, it's been compromised. Your crime scene's been compromised, and it was not due to any. It was. The question is how did the gentleman go to the wrong place? That question has still not been answered. I take that back. That question has not been asked, and then thereby that question has not been answered.
when we finally identify a suspect and it goes to trial or it goes to, we want to make sure that there's nothing that could cause this case to be dismissed or cause this case to be kicked. So we're looking at every single tip or every single information that comes in. We leave no stone unturned. We're investigating it, but there's only so much that we can share at this point. We released a video of the person of interest that we're looking for, the person that we know that was in the area at that time. We're asking the community, we're asking the public, if you haven't.
She said it right there. We know that that person was in the area at that time. So that's a person of interest. Again, that is not the suspect. That person that's in the alley, they were just there around that time, and they're walking towards the house. As I've always put this out there, so that person of interest video, you guys, that person is not fleeing a scene. That person is walking down the alley, and before actually they would ever even get to the house, there is multiple things that could happen. There's apartments you can veer off to the left. There's also cameras that come before the house, which is after what we're seeing here. And unless they weren't working, and I'm praying that that's not the case, because those are really good cameras that wouldn't be working, and that'd be really, really unfortunate.
Information. If you think you know anything about this person, please contact us. Please call us. You can email us. You can call us. You can call Crime Stoppers. Even if you don't think it's something that's relevant in that moment, it may have been something you saw last week. It may have been something that you saw the day before, it could be relevant to this case. Please reach out. Please let us know. So we are asking for tips. We have received numerous tips as it relates to this case, but we do not have at this moment a suspect that we have identified.
Do you believe that person who was in the video is the suspect or just someone who was there at the time?
They were just told for the first time in that long spiel, for the first time, that the initial officer went to the wrong house. Shouldn't they be like, oh my God, wait, what? This is what this, there's only like two people in this room and they're fighting over like who's going to ask the next question. When I say there's two people in the room, literally. Did you not listen? Like you already have your did you not hear what she said? She just told you for the first time that the initial responding officer went to the wrong house. And your question to her after she's done speaking to her, the chief, is to ask about that fucking video. And to ask a question that you know she's not going to be able to answer.
Do you believe that person who
Look at those two.
Have at this moment a suspect that we have identified.
Do you believe that person who was in the video is the suspect? Or
We do not have a suspect identified at this time. Do you believe that the person in that video is a suspect? That's who I want running my station and asking questions in an interview. No. The question is, oh, so the police officer went to the wrong house? How did that happen? And because of that, did that now compromise the scene? Who were the first people that saw the body? Were they in the house then when they saw the body? Let's clear that up. They weren't outside, right? They weren't looking through some window, right? Why aren't we clearing up all these misconceptions that have been going on for 8 days? This is horrible, horrible. And they're over here so excited about getting this exclusive. Again, I back the police chief. Again, her numbers speak for themselves. I'm telling you, go look and see what they implemented in this area over the past 2 years. For Columbus to have 1 million people and to only have 81 homicides in 2025 on December 29th, and then these 2 homicides got added to that number, it's pretty remarkable. And they had 69 arrests out of the 81. 69 arrests. I don't say 69 solved. Like they say, and we solved 69 of them. How? No. You arrested 69 people out of the 81. That's how it should. Everybody gets their day in court. All right. Shit. After I watch this body, after I see this case, I'm like, take a peek at those 81. But I cannot believe that people are getting, this is.
or just someone who was there at the time when the murders happened?
Evidence is going to give us that information as we continue to dig, as we continue to gather as much as we can. Right now, we know that they were there. So right now, what we want is for people to be able to give us more information so that we can then collect that evidence and make a determination on whether that's the case.
Now, there's a crime camera just across the street
Great answer.
from the Tepes residence. Did that crime camera catch anything that's been useful to the department?
We're still reviewing a lot of video. We're still looking at a lot of evidence. Again, the information that we're releasing, we want to be as transparent as possible and release that. But there are some things we're just not going to be able to share at this time related to the investigation. But
And that's how it should be. Absolutely. 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 Like 1000%. That's how it should be. Like you want to be able to prosecute somebody, right?
what I can tell you is that we are looking at so much video information and so much content that we're still combing through. So we don't have all the answers. And so our investigators.
That tells me that the person was on foot for a pretty decent distance. And that's exactly how I said I would do it. There's no way that you can bring a car in that area because of all the one ways. I said you were boxing yourself in. You'll be so easily able to be followed if you were in a vehicle out of there because of all the one-way streets. Okay. You would stick out like a sore thumb if you were going the wrong way on a one-way street. So like that's not going to happen or you're an idiot. And because of the one-way streets, you're going to be able to eliminate and know that there's only certain paths of travel in a vehicle. That's why I said that they need to go outside of this little radius and they need to go outside further because this person, in my opinion, traveled further on foot than just a little radius. Okay. And then I still now have a potential because now I'm going to, because of how this all went down, and we don't have the footage of an initial responding officer to see if there's anybody in the area. But I always want to know if everybody was accounted for that went to the wellness check that was there, that was a civilian, a friend. And I want to know if everybody was asked, how did you get the call to come here? Just to make sure that nobody would be standing outside in the backyard acting like they were called there for the wellness check, but really they came from inside the house. You understand? So that to me, it can still not be eliminated yet.
Are diligently working. They're still gathering information. And as soon as we're able to, we're going to provide another update.
Is anybody what the community at this time though?
These idiots.
Community at large.
I'll add that any
Is anybody what the community at this time though?
Dude, there's 2 people in there. Again, it's every other. Are you guys only children or what? You get to ask a question. Then you ask a question. Listen to this.
We're able to, we're going to provide another update.
Is anybody what the community at this time though?
Community at large.
I'll add that any
Is anybody what the community at this time though?
What was the question?
Community at large.
I'll add that any homicide investigation is a delicate balance between community safety and investigative integrity.
She looked immediately at him when saying, they're going to ask about should the community be in fear that the killer hasn't been caught yet? Like, are other people subject to, somebody coming in their home and just, shooting them while they're sleeping? And then this is word salad.
When there's a community safety issue, that's information that we got get out as soon as possible. Our homicide teams have been canvassing the area every single day since this tragedy occurred, and they're making a lot of relationships in the Wyland Park area. The
They should already have those relationships.
community members have stepped up and they have provided a lot of information.
I agree. They have.
For every second of video, that's every second of video that a detective has to watch. And so when we have tens of thousands of hours of video, detectives watch every bit of that. And that's obviously not an instantaneous lead. Additionally,
Word salad. But this is when you ask questions like that, this is what you get in response. Okay.
the chief mentioned a number of tips that have come in since we released that video. And our detectives, we have a great triage system that the tips are sent to detectives. Detectives follow up on all of those tips. Some of them pan out to some additional information and follow up. Some of them are just not good tips, but we follow up on every one. Again, that speaks to the partnership with the community. That speaks to the work. So what I'm describing, the canvassing, the review of video, that happens on every single homicide that our detectives investigate. If there's anything good out of this, it's that people are paying attention to the professionalism of our detectives and the significant work that they do.
Do you know?
Okay. Well, there you go. Awesome. Next, I want to show you guys. I think I found this. I think we got something. Well, actually, I'm going to end this right here because I'm going to be back here. I'm going to actually be heading down there, and then I'm going to go. I'm going to actually be going back down there, and then I'll be back because I have more stuff I need to put out for you guys. So thank you for tuning in. If you go to the beginning of the video, you can see in its entirety the dash cam, and then I'm going to put out just a video of like the 6 minutes and 30 seconds so you can see the dash cam by itself. If I can make some enhancements, I will do that. Truth and transparency, appreciate you guys. All the locals out there, OH baby, IO. Much love. Thank you, members. Thank you, moderators, subscribers, lurkers. Appreciate you guys.